with the,
Scooch over there just a little bit, sweetie.
the next character in the plot is Sharon.
Here's Sharon. You sure you got that the way you wanted?
Yeah, you're all in there. It's too large, but I was just trying to,
There.
Yeah.
Craig's shoulder.
it's,
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
Okay, so then
Well, let's
enters
move this. Let's
Sharon.
move this arrow that help. Oops.
it's not recording that anyway.
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of annoying. So, anyway, where were we? Talking about.
You working for General Electric?
Oh yeah, and I got that job, and like I said, it was the most fortuitous thing that could have happened because I finally got a real job that slotted into something that was worth doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was an engineering technician with a major company with good pay, good benefits, and made some lifelong friendships there. And of course, I met Sharon there because she followed. Well, she didn't follow. She came after I did, and
So work there, you mean?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Otherwise, I never would have met her.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the beginning of all that too, which is great.
Well, let's hear a little more detail at the beginning of all that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And you're making a shadow on your head. If you can lean back a little bit comfortably. Yeah, there. Good.
Maybe you can lean forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You want a pillow behind you, Sharon? Would that help? One of these
Throw it.
two? Probably the little
that's
one?
Too much.
how's that?
Yeah, we don't need this light anymore. It didn't help that much.
Okay. So anyway,
How'd you get so much taller than me?
I have short legs but a long torso. Everybody wanted to know that.
yes. Oh, goodness. So anyway, I was working as an engineering technician with all the grunt engineers with their white socks, their short sleeve shirts, their pocket protectors. Oh, absolutely. Slide rule.
And belt?
Yep. And of course, their shoes weren't all that polished, and they weren't all that polished, but they were good guys. And so what happened to you, Sharon? How'd you get there?
Well, I pretty much did the same thing you did after high school. I tried college, but not having parents who had gone through school, we were not getting good guidance, so I kind of gave up on that and had to go to work. So
Where did you grow up?
San Lorenzo.
Uh-huh. So you were still in your area then?
Mm-hmm. And I found a job at GE, and
As
I was a stenographer. If anybody remembers what a stenographer does.
in purchasing,
And,
right?
yes.
Working for Frank Thornton.
Excellent. And then I got promoted to Secretary of Marketing. And Craig, that was at Craig's department. We knew each other, but I guess we dated once or twice before I got promoted.
Yeah, and there, just to put things into focus, this whole satellite plant in San Leandro was a GE branch that had 100 people, including the factory people. And we, in the marketing group, which we didn't really do marketing as it's classically defined, what we did is we bid jobs and tried to get orders through the field sales force. And it was my job then to prepare proposals against customer specifications saying how we could comply with their requirements at a certain price and then try to get the business. And naturally enough, my title was Proposition Specialist. And Sharon came to work as the secretary, and in this department, by the way, was, what, 4 people?
Mhm.
You, me, Joe Waltner, and Bob Blair. And Glenn Heiner later, who,
I never worked for them.
yeah. Okay. But, so, anyway, that's,
What was the first moment you saw Sharon and noticed she was a interesting female? Do you recall the
no,
first glimpse?
I think it was kind of more an accident.
Uh-huh.
I was a young girl and I had just bought myself a brand new car.
Oh, that would.
And I was really proud of my new car. And of course, all the engineers knew that and teased me unmercifully.
What was it?
It was a 1963 Chevrolet Impala.
Whoa,
Wow.
good choice.
Brand
and,
new.
And Craig was one of the guys that would tease me, and everybody wanted to know when I was going to take him for a ride and all that. And so
What color was it?
it was a green, a light green color.
Mhm.
But anyway, we were at a Christmas party, and Craig asked me to dance, and we were dancing, and he started in again. By this time, I'm getting pretty tired of all this. So I said, "What would you do if I took you up on it?" And he said, "Well," he says, "I'd go." And he says, "What's more, I'd drive." So that was really our first date. Then after
Okay,
he took me to San Francisco. Of course, I was underage.
yeah. Well, she was underage even after we got married.
Yeah. But we then it was a lot easier to get into some of the clubs. And
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was it her or her car?
Why would you ask such a question?
To see what your answer would be.
Troublemaker.
Goodness. Well, I had a Corvette at the time.
Oh,
No, you got that later. You had that old car. I don't think it was a police car. It was a
Oh, that Dodge?
yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a police car.
Was it the police
Yeah,
car?
it was-
Oh, I remember that.
That Dodge Highway Patrol car.
Yeah.
mm.
You drove that down the Imperial Valley and let me drive it. You let me drive it, and my girlfriends and I were smoking at that time, and we somehow or other caught the back seat on fire.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I was scared to death to tell you, and I was, oh my God, what am I going to tell my brother? Oh my God, and you were cool with it. It was amazing. I was so expecting to be in such big trouble.
Yeah.
So first date was a trip in the Impala to San Francisco?
No, we took his car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you did get to drive it?
He drove. Did he get to drive the Impala?
Yeah.
Well, eventually, after we got married, that was our car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
But
I
you
sold
didn't-
the,
You didn't get to drive it on the first date?
Yeah,
or
he
second
did.
date?
He did.
yeah,
Off and on.
yeah,
So it clearly was more her than the car.
I would say so.
Good answer.
And
Yeah.
Sharon, what was your first notice of Craig like? Was he just another annoying geek in the office?
Not really. He would tease me sometimes, but I kind of dish it back. But after our first date, I went home and I told my mom. I said, we went out on this date. We went and whatever we did, had dinner and danced and all that. And I said, and then he drove me home, and that was it. I was really shocked that he didn't try to get me in the back seat, and
Uh-huh.
like a lot of dates did, and just really a nice guy. But I thought that was the end of it, because he was he was over 21 and having a good time in San Francisco, and so I thought that was just it. I trapped him into this date, and but he came around again. So
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah.
what was your assessment of the first date?
I
Well,
don't remember.
no, I really don't. But that's not unusual. I don't remember a lot of stuff. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun though. I mean, I did goofy things like remember I rented that old car. It was a real old.
I remember you borrowed one from a friend. It
Was
was
that
like a
one?
1939 something, a Ford or one of those huge cars.
Yeah, it was like almost like a station wagon, but it was real old. And I thought it was even earlier than that. I thought it
It
was
could've
early
been.
30s. But anyway, did stuff like that. And
You did what with it?
I used it for a date,
Oh,
just because it was something different,
uh-huh,
just to have a little fun. And, we'd go over to San Francisco, and that's when they were building or making the Bay Bridge one lane, or one direction top deck and the other direction bottom deck.
uh-huh,
They were taking the tracks out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when, by doing that, they had to lower the roadway through the tunnel on the upper deck.
uh-huh,
And what that required was a drop in the roadbed of maybe 18 inches. So they put a metal ramp that traveled with this 18-inch drop as they moved it forward, you know, to get through that tunnel. You see what I'm saying?
I think,
Yeah, well, if you're gonna have an 18-inch drop, you can't just have
yeah.
I mean,
Sudden,
well, you gotta get down the 18 inches and then you gotta take all that overburden off. You gotta dig the 18 inches out all the way through that tunnel. Otherwise, you haven't done it.
uh-huh,
I'm still not getting there, but.
I just remember there was a hump that kept moving across the tunnel.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
remember that.
Yeah. But, yeah,
so, second date?
oh,
Sharon,
well,
what
we
was,
can
I
remember.
don't remember the second date. It was all just
You were surprised though,
that he came back. Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, well, I don't even remember when we started dating versus, we got engaged on your birthday, June 22nd,
Mhm.
what year?
63.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the wedding.
Yeah, that was September 22nd, 63.
Oh, you
Your
moved
mom made
fast.
the bridesmaid
Yeah, I
dresses.
thought we'd be engaged for about a year or something. He says, by the way, I've set the date.
Which I wish I hadn't done. She should have said it, not me. But live and learn. I'm still
But your
learning.
mom made all the did she make your dress too?
No.
Your mom? But she did make the bridesmaid dress. I remember
Mhm.
they were this kind of a lime
Yeah.
green. And we had to go, your two
The color of
sisters.
my car.
Oh, okay. I
It's
didn't know that.
I like
9:30.
green.
Yeah, well, it was pretty. I thought it was a pretty color. We had to go and get our shoes dyed to match. And here, you guys all wore like size 4s. Your sister, who had the smallest feet? Your
Nancy.
Nancy wore a size 4,
Mhm.
and you wore what, a 4.5 or a
4.5,
5,
mhm.
4.5, and then I wore a 10. And we all went to the same store to get these white satin shoes, which were going to be dyed to match. But that was quite an experience. These high heels, satin
Yeah.
high heels, the 4, 4.5s, and a 10.
Oh, well.
And
So
your
where was
poor
the wedding?
mom. I just remember your poor mom too, having to make those dresses, and she was just trying to get them made on time, and it was a stretch to get it all done. I think. 'cause
We
she
did
had-
it.
Yeah.
Where was
Huh?
the wedding?
We did it.
Yeah.
San Leandro.
In the church or?
Yeah, church. I forget the name of it. Some
Was it
community
Catholic?
church. No, it was no denomination in
Mm.
particular. It was a community church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big wedding?
Well, I don't know. We had a couple hundred people, I guess.
That's
What we
big.
did, we didn't realize it, but we weren't having a formal reception. We were just having cake and punch back at my house. So we didn't worry about RSVPs.
Uh-oh.
And everybody said, well, expect half the people to show up, if that
Uh-huh.
many. Well, everybody showed up. And we had quite a crowd in the front yard, so.
Yeah, it was a
It was-
pretty modest affair, honestly, because, well, hell, we didn't have the money. And we weren't, again,
We had the friends, it sounds like.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
showed
did,
up.
we did.
Oh, yeah, and that's the important part.
Yeah. So then
Yeah.
what was your first house or home?
Well, we rented an apartment on
Mhm.
165th Avenue.
In San Leandro.
Yeah, in San Leandro, real close to where she used to live, her home, her mom and dad's home, and real close to work. And I got rid of the Corvette, and we had her car. And I guess that's all we had was just your car
Mhm.
for a while.
Well, when we started out, we were working in the same place, so we really only need one car.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I went to work in Oakland for Kaiser, and I got a ride with a friend. And,
And then Sharon put the hammer on me. She probably doesn't remember this, but she said, okay, we got a decision to make. Kids or school, we're not gonna do both at the same time, which was smart.
Mm-hmm.
And, so we picked school, which meant then that we had to get rid of all of our bills. We had enough time to clean up the debt. We didn't have major debt. We didn't have credit card debt like kids do today. But we had, charge cards and stuff like that, I guess. I don't even remember what the,
you just had a gas card
yeah.
in those days,
All right.
but you had borrowed some money from your friend.
Oh, yeah. So we had a little bit of money that we had to round up and get cleaned up, which we did. And then I went to San Jose State.
Mm-hmm.
Just picked it because, Berkeley, they wouldn't take me because I wasn't ready to go in exactly as an upper division student. I still had a couple of lower division classes to take.
Mm-hmm.
And in San Jose State, they didn't care. So that's where I went. And we moved. She had to change jobs. And we went from where we were down to Santa Clara. And that was an interesting time, boy, I'll tell you. Just talk about rolling the dice. I had not been to school for several years. And all the classes I was taking had prerequisites, which I'd already accomplished 5, 6, 7 years ago. So here I'm taking, say, second year calculus, but I hadn't taken first year calculus in 5 years or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so it went, I had to take the more advanced classes on the strength of what I supposedly had learned on the first ones. And of course, most of the time you just bluff your way through it and get through it. But the other problem was, at San Jose, there was still no free ride. I mean, I wasn't an upper division student yet. And before they would admit you to that status, you had to take a test, a comprehensive test on physics and chemistry and math and statics and yada, 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 all the stuff. So I had to bone up for that too. So I was really going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tough, tough time. But got through it,
So then you were in engineering
yeah.
and you got a BA?
BS, Bachelor of Science in
Yes, yeah,
Electrical
of course.
Engineering.
Maybe.
And as a matter of fact, I overachieved and ended up in the Engineering Honorary Society,
Oh.
Tau Beta Pi, which like 1 out of 20 kids gets into. And I was in the Electrical Engineering Honor Society, which is at a Kappa Nu, and I was president of that.
Wow.
And then there was in general, just across the board, kind of a home brewed fraternity. I don't know if there were girls in it or not, but I think not. Which is called Tau Delta Phi. And what it was all of the top students from any discipline were invited to be part of this group.
Mm.
And boy, what an eye-opener that turned out to be for me. Because, being an arrogant engineering type, the artsy, English major, communications, anthropology, those didn't count. Well, I come to find out that there were a lot of serious students in those disciplines. And they really worked hard to achieve what they were achieving. And I had never considered that. So that was a good thing,
Mm.
yeah.
Now, Sharon, you were working in the same area in San Jose, or,
I worked in Silicon Valley before it was known as Silicon Valley. I worked for one of the first semiconductor groups, Fairchild
oh,
Semiconductor.
yeah, that big name.
Mm-hmm.
Who were some of the names?
Pardon?
And Fairchild,
Yeah, the guys that you met or knew or whatever.
Robert Noyce and Charlie Spork and Tom Day and.
Yeah, these
most-
guys are all pioneers and inventors and
Mm.
smart as hell.
Yeah. Like a lot of them, they started out in a garage,
Mhm.
started developing semiconductors and came up with a process and got funding from Sherman Fairchild and went into business.
Sherman?
Fairchild.
That was the
He's the
original
guy that provided the money.
Oh,
For Fairchild Semiconductor. Oh, I didn't know that. I guess I never thought about it.
Mhm.
So he was kind of gutsy, wasn't he?
Mhm.
yeah, it changed the world.
Yeah. Well, he would have done it for somebody.
Yeah,
You know, those things kind of.
Oh yeah, there was Raytheon at the time and a couple other companies down there doing
so you were working in, what department, or?
I worked for a marketing manager, and the marketing division was divided into groups like military and several others, and I worked for the consumer products
Mhm.
marketing manager.
So, and then you graduated and went back into sales, or did you?
Well, I graduated and I got a lot of job interviews and I worked it out so that I could go back to General Electric
Mm-hmm.
on terms a little more favorable than they wanted to offer in the first place because, see, GE, you know, they hire so many kids, they overhire,
Mm-hmm.
and they were offering $715 a month. Was their standard salary for an engineering graduate. But that was also what PG&E and some of the others were offering. Fairchild Semiconductor, on the other hand, was offering $815 a month. So what I did is I maneuvered it through some connections, and got $815 a month working for General Electric.
Mm-hmm. And you moved back up to,
No, I went on their training program, and we went to Denver
oh,
for 6 months. And that was supposed to be where I got my feet wet.
mm-hmm.
Well, it turned out that because of my experience in San Leandro, the sales guys immediately took me out with them on sales calls because I could contribute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I knew the products better than they did, even though they were graduate engineers and been selling them. So that was a good time. I was really happy about that. And we were there for 6 months, and then we went to Philadelphia. And oh my God, going from Denver in July to Philadelphia in July was just brutal. The humidity was just tough. So, but we went there, and again, it was a great move. I took a job as an application engineer on power distribution systems. And so that really worked out well for me because I had a good background on motor controls, which is a real fundamental area
Mm-hmm.
of electrical engineering for industrial. And then I got immersed in power distribution equipment in applications, which is another major group of disciplines within electrical engineering and the industrial sector. So when I got done with Philadelphia, I was pretty well prepared.
Mm. And so you're back in the engineering side.
At that time, yes. And then we moved back to Oakland, or Alameda, and I worked in the Oakland sales office calling on Kaiser,
Mm.
and off we went.
And now you were taking different jobs? across
Oh.
the-
Yeah, I'd fill out a,
Poor gal.
I'd fill out a resume and it was 3 pages long and all I did was list the number of jobs I had. So,
Well, you must have
I
been
worked quite a
pretty
few
skilled
places.
in demand then
well,
with all that background.
yeah, I didn't have too much trouble finding a job, but
Oh.
it was getting harder and harder, so.
Yeah, they knew
I
she wasn't
didn't-
gonna be there.
I didn't realize that you had worked at Kaiser, because I worked there too, and I'm wondering, we weren't there at the same time.
No, I worked on Broadway too. I didn't work in the Kaiser Center.
Well, I worked on the Kaiser Center, and I also worked on that building that was just Kaiser Engineers.
I don't know which
Kind of
one.
over by the lake.
No, I worked on Broadway, right across from Old Magnets practically.
Okay, yeah, that's not where I was.
So
Yeah.
you're.
That was the
you're-
original Kaiser building, actually. He lived in the penthouse upstairs when he was,
Oh.
The one
yeah,
on
Jay?
Broadway?
yeah.
Oh,
So did you ever meet him, Jay?
No, he was not there at the time. He was
Oh.
already, I think he went to Hawaii, didn't he? And that's where he passed
Oh.
away.
hmm.
Hmm.
Did any of them drive Kaiser cars?
I drove
Yeah, I
a
remember
Kaiser.
Kaisers.
I had a Kaiser Fraser car,
Uh-huh.
which was pretty unusual. Don't
Yeah,
know,
no kidding.
it was really an oddity.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have the light in the center of the thing on the hood,
I don't remember much about it. It was like a beige color. I bought it used,
I
and
think that was the Studebaker.
or? Oh,
no, I
yeah,
had a
yeah,
Studebaker also. Oh, what you're saying?
That's right.
Yeah. I would just buy a car for $200, $100 or $200, something that would go. At one point, I had a Studebaker where the battery died, and I couldn't afford to buy a new battery for it, so I always parked it on a hill.
Yeah,
And it had a clutch, so I could always get it started. I worked for American Optical at the time, and which was not on a hill in Oakland. And the guys would give me a push, and I'd get home and park on a hill, and just back and forth to work, and that's all I used it for. Couldn't afford a $20 or $30 battery at that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
What year of Corvette did you have, Craig?
60.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a hot number. I sure liked it. It was
red?
It was black with red inserts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
It had the
it's
hard
made it
top
up.
and rag top.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when you lived out at Bay Farm Island,
Yeah,
and I lived there too when I first came up for a little
Yeah.
while with.
which is just
Prudence.
outside of Alameda.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Okay. Yeah, that's where Fred Wood and I got together. Because Fred was in the Army and getting discharged. And he seemed like a relatively stable sort of person. Not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what? Not my memory of
So
him.
who's Fred Wood?
Oh, he's a good friend of ours. That I've known for a long, long time. Well, since
He was our best man.
best man
Oh,
at the
okay.
wedding and I at his. And yeah, and he's got a daughter, April. She's got to be, what, 45? She's older than Scott, isn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
So are you still friends with Fred? Is he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's been here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy. And,
Yeah, we just missed him the last time we came up.
So it sounds like he's a little on the wild side, or what?
oh,
He used to be.
yeah, it used to be. The problem was that Fred, and it was a problem, both his parents died when he was in the service, I guess. And he got this inheritance,
Mm.
and he didn't handle it well. He just blew through it like water. And I mean, he just spent the money stupidly. And but he did what he wanted to do, and he came out okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here I say how what he did was stupid. Well,
He had fun.
yeah, that's right. And maybe it was stupid from my perspective, but it wasn't from his.
Well, back to your career and your moving around. You're living in, working in Oakland and.
Worked in El Cerrito and
Well, yeah. Let's see. What happened is I got a job transfer down to Los Angeles within General Electric, and so I took that as assignment, as we call them. And I had 3 or 4 jobs within GE in LA area. And we were there for what, 15 years, 18 years,
13 years,
13 years?
And whereabouts did you live, or?
Cyprus,
Orange County?
near Buena Park, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, both our kids were born in Anaheim. So,
Take them to Disneyland a lot, or
yeah,
Yeah, we did.
Annual Pass and
No,
fireworks
we
every
never
night?
did that.
it wasn't that expensive.
We'd get a lot of company. Yeah, I didn't even know if they had annual passes then, but we'd have company every year. They bring their kids, and everybody
Uh-huh.
wanted to go to Disneyland, so
Sure.
we'd go several times a year.
Yeah.
Were they doing the fireworks at 9:30 every
Oh,
night?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Knott's Berry Farm was close by, and we'd go there too.
3 miles
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
We'd ride our bikes over there.
yeah.
And then from LA, you went off, you were in
Well, then what happened
Lake Forest
is,
and-
what happened then was, I had been, let's see, I'd been a district manager, and there were larger jobs that I was being considered for, but I never got them. And I knew the way things worked, or at least I felt I did, that you only get invited out on the dance floor so many times. And if you don't get the call, well, then you don't get invited anymore. You know, because you become a little bit tainted.
Mhm.
You know, there must be something wrong. Otherwise, you would have gotten hired. I guess I mixed that metaphor so much that nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about. But the idea is that if you get a job interview and you get the job, that's great. But what happens if you don't get the job? Well, that's okay too, if you handled the interview well. But if you handled the interview well 3 or 4 times and you still didn't get the job, then you're pretty much out of the running. And they put you on the shelf and you just do what you do. Well, I wasn't gonna let that happen. And it turned out that I got a call at home from a guy who was ex-General Electric out of Dallas, saying he'd got my name from a mutual friend, blah, blah, blah. And so we ended up going to work for Gardner Denver. And I left GE,
And where was that?
Dallas.
In Dallas?
Yeah. Probably the second best move I made, even though it was not a long-lived job because it was oil patch related.
Mm.
I mean, related, hell, it was joined at the hip. So if you're not making wells, you're not drilling more wells, they had no need for our product. And that happened. The price of oil dropped like a rock. They started stacking up the rigs. And there was no reason to buy new equipment because there was used equipment you could buy 10 cents on the dollar.
What do you mean stacking up the rigs?
Storing them?
Yeah, just, park them and leave them.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I eventually had to get another job, and that's when I went to work for Eaton. Cutler Hammer, same thing.
Mhm.
And that's when then I retired from that. But
Well, with Cooper Industries, Gardner Denver, we moved from Dallas to Quincy, Illinois.
yeah,
They closed the Dallas plant and moved everybody up to Quincy, which was not one of the best moves he made. But, well, job-wise it was, but
yeah. See, my reasoning was I really didn't want to go to Quincy. I mean, you can't imagine how desperate I was not to go to Quincy. Because
That's
it was
a
on the
suburb of Chicago? I don't even.
it's on the Mississippi River.
it's right across the river from Hannibal, Missouri.
Oh,
It's right,
okay.
it's up in the middle of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
And even that's giving it credit.
2 hours away from
St. Louis.
St. Louis and 2 hours away from Columbia,
Yeah.
which I went to school in Columbia and I had to commute
Mm.
2 hours each way?
2 hours each way.
Wow.
Wow.
And what was the degree you got there?
My master's.
You got a
in social
master's
work.
in social work. That's where you got it. Okay. I thought you got that when you were living in LA.
I got my bachelor's in Los Angeles.
Okay. Well, I want to say a little something about that because right around that time was when Don Hausler, who is known for his hyperbole,
Yes, you might say
said
that.
to me and to Emmett, Sharon has gotten her PhD all this time. Well, she was being quiet and we've been messing around and partying and stuff. She's been going to school getting her PhD. She's a doctor now. So for years now, I thought, I've been even telling people we got a doctor in our family.
Aw, shucks.
Yeah.
Darn it.
And then so I said to something on one of our last visits, well, now we have two doctors, because Jack and Sharon. And she goes, what are you talking about? And I said, well, you have your doctorate, your PhD. And she goes, I don't have a PhD. I went, what? I mean, at least 15, maybe 20 years ago when you got that. Wait, how long ago was it that you got that?
My master's?
Yeah.
Let's see, early 80s. 82,
So
83. I don't
20,
remember.
30 years I've been thinking you were a PhD, and I've been thinking she's got her doctorate. I'm a little bit envious here.
Yes.
So you
Damn Don Hausler.
back to Quincy, how long were you there?
Too damn long.
I think a total of 2 years for the kids and me. He always goes up early, and I stayed with the kids to finish school in Dallas
Right.
the year, and so we moved in the summertime, and we moved out summertime 2 years later, I guess. Or was
Yeah.
it just a year? I think it was 2 years.
Yeah.
And where did you go next then?
Lake Forest, Illinois.
That was like.
He was working Kenosha.
Uh-huh.
we
Yeah, and
moved
I
in-
didn't want to move to Kenosha because I saw in Kenosha the same thing that I saw in Quincy. Small town, boring, blah, blah, blah. That was unfair to Kenosha. Kenosha's a hell of a lot better place than that.
Yeah.
But,
Lake Forest isn't bad.
well, that's right. I was going to say the fallback position of going to Lake Forest was absolutely just right because,
Yeah.
you know, our kids went to a great high school and, you know, it was a well-heeled community, as you know.
Yeah.
It was close to Chicago, and you know, there were so many neat things, and it's such a nice little town. We love it there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind living there again. I mean, it'd be a little rough at times in a year, but
Yeah, the winters are hard.
Yeah.
We could do the summers, but the winters were long and cold.
you know, if we did that, we'd have to get a place, or not get a place full time, but just you know, lease a place for 3 months or
Get-
something.
Get warm for a while.
So
Yeah.
you were there how long?
9 years.
Yeah.
And then the kids went off to school and you were
Mhm.
empty nested and.
They went off to school and we moved out from under them.
Right. Didn't tell them where we were.
Took the dog.
Took the dog. Took the pot liquor. Yeah. Yeah, how'd that work? What was that about? I was working in Kenosha, and by then, there was a new regime. I had good jobs, but I really worked for some pretty awful people at times.
Mhm.
Most of the time I worked for good people, but at times, and that was one of them. And I went to see a guy that was large in my career development, and he and his wife and I went to dinner in Pittsburgh because he was at the headquarters place. And I told Tony, I said, Tony, I gotta get the hell out of there. Place is driving me crazy. He said, no, I understand. He said, what do you want to do? And I said, I'd like to go back into field sales because I'm good at it and, you know, I can make a contribution. And he said, where do you want to go? And I said, California. And he didn't understand that at all. He was a Brit.
Oh,
In California, you know, well, that's Disneyland and Hollywood and,
Fruits and nuts.
yeah, fruits and nuts and blah, 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 you know. And he was swept up by all that. So we arranged it. And I was a product specialist for drives. You know, I'd been the marketing manager for that division. And, you know, I'm pretty good technically. So I was more than just a, you know, a step and fetch it kind of a salesman.
and where was this in California?
LA. That's when we moved to Yorba Linda.
Oh, okay, Yorba Linda.
Yeah. And that job developed because it was a created job. So I made it fit what I wanted to do.
Mm.
And so I supported the field sales force from Northern California through Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, and El Paso. And it was just perfect, because I could get things going and then offload all the details, getting the orders entered and all that stuff onto the field sales force. But I had some really good jobs that were noteworthy, and I don't need to go into them here because, they're noteworthy to me, and I don't think anybody else would care, but
I've lost track. What company is this now? you're with?
it's still Cutler Hammer,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
And started out as Eaton or?
Well, yeah, it started out as Eaton,
Mhm.
and I went to work for Eaton, but Cutler Hammer they had bought long before I showed up, but they kind of left it alone. And then after I showed up, they integrated Cutler Hammer into the Eaton business model, and I became part of that,
Mhm.
the Cutler Hammer side of things, because Eaton has hydraulics and mechanical transmissions and a whole lot of stuff that I never was involved in. So
Sure.
all their electrical went into Cutler Hammer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, of all the places you lived, what would be your favorite?
Well,
You each get to answer that.
yeah, like I said, Lake Forest would be pretty high on
We like Reno a lot.
the. Yeah, we like Reno a real lot.
Mhm.
Love Southern California too. The weather's perfect, and we
Yeah.
probably would have stayed there except for all the people. It's just
Traffic.
Too many people.
too many
on
people.
cars.
You can't get out of town when you want to, and
You got to
Just-
plan everything around freeway
Yeah.
patterns, and I don't like that.
Mhm.
And God, you get on the freeway and you just, it's not a path to get from point A to point B. It's a race course. Jesus, people go crazy down there.
I want to ask one question, Craig, because it occurs to me that you might know the answer to this before we close up here. Jack and I just went up north, and I went to Wendell, Idaho, where Grandma and Grandpa Requa are buried. But I had this idea that Grandpa Chidester was buried in Cary Cemetery. And Jack and I went through that whole cemetery, grave
Twice.
by grave twice. And then I realized, well, I just kind of made that up and,
Yeah.
out of nowhere. Where did I ever hear that? I just believe it, and it's not true, obviously. Do you know where they're buried? Because I know our dad was born in Cary, and they had a ranch outside of Cary. Could you say a little more about that, or what you know about that?
Yeah, I also went to Grandma and Grandpa Requa's. In fact, Don Hausler was with me. Did you go with me, Sharon?
many years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've been there, and Grandpa Chidester is buried in Kent, Washington.
Okay.
And Grandma Chidester, who we never knew, is buried there in Cary, in the new cemetery.
Really?
There's a new cemetery?
Did you go to the new one or to the old one?
Was
We
outside
only knew
town
of
on a
one.
hill.
I don't know what we went to, but there was no Chidesters
It
buried
wasn't
there.
that
So.
But you saw
old.
the Requas.
Yeah.
That's
in
the new
Wendell.
one. That's the new one. Oh, in Wendell.
Yeah.
They were in Wendell.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're talking
Well-
about Cary.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
on the northwest side of town,
Oh,
northeast side of
I
town.
can't remember that.
Yeah.
The road curves off and there's like a hill that goes up.
Okay,
But
Well,
there
he
were
doesn't
old
remember.
graves.
It's probably changed a lot since we were there. It's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
a
But
thousand
one thing
years.
I did find, and I mentioned this in that little travelogue that I sent you, is I found a headstone for a Elizabeth Draper.
okay.
And I seem to remember that that was Grandpa Chidester's either mother or grandmother, because our dad, talked about his Grandpa Draper, who was an Irishman, with an Irish brogue and everything. So I'm thinking that Elizabeth Draper might have been the Chidesters, our dad's grandmother, I think. I'm just guessing here.
Well, I've got that book.
Yeah, And I gotta go back and read that you put together, yeah.
No,
But
but
I-
I mean, I have a book that backs up what I wrote.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to see that too.
Yeah.
Well, shall we close
Yeah,
up
well, are there
here?
any final comments here of this tour of time?
Yeah.
Well, just to say that we made this for our children
Yeah,
and
their children, and
their
if
children,
they're
yeah.
interested to know anything about our history.
yeah. Well, plus the other idea is that I did do a written version of
Mhm.
events and things.
I have that, and I'm gonna make sure that Pat and Dan get it.
Yeah, get a copy made.
Right.
And, yeah, because I think it's worth, I tried to write it in a way that's friendly and kind of fun to read.
Yeah, it is, it really is.
So-
Put a lot of pictures in
Yeah,
it
I haven't seen it
too.
yet.
So,
Okay,
all right.
well,
Well, thanks for joining us. Wish we'd thought of it sooner. But,
I can't, oh, there it is.
yeah, I started thinking, wait a minute, we should